press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello, good morning. How are you all? We are meeting after a long time, possibly after 1.5 weeks. Good morning. Just a second. Let me see who has come. Arfat, where are you, man? Good afternoon. Okay. Good morning. Now we left back at the thief's story, which we'll continue. Okay. We left with our Hanil and Hari Singh. Have you forgotten them or do you remember them? We winded up our class. Oh, I am fine, thank you. We winded up our class last Wednesday and we're meeting today. So, have you read the lesson? Can you tell me quickly, have you read the lesson or are you doing your studies? I want to know what you are doing at home. Today we'll wind up the lesson. A little portion is remaining, right? We can wind up. We can do more of talking today and lesson we can get it over. Doesn't matter. Little is there. Can you tell me, have you read the lesson? Are you doing your assignments? Properly tell what you have done and what you have not done. Quickly. What's yes? Your assignments are due. I hope you remember. And I hope you have listened to the meetings recording as well. Okay. So your term 1 and term 2 bifurcation has come. It is there in the CBSE website, cbseacademics.nic.in, okay, or cbse.nic.in. You go to academics. The academic website, you will have your term 1 and term 2 bifurcation. So with regard to English, if I have to say, I have, just give me, okay, you didn't read the lesson, no problem. You can read all, yes, okay. Chetan always keeps forgetting how to write, ma'am. So, with regard to English, I have one poem, I think one non-detail and 4 detail, which we will quickly finish, no problem, and a little bit of grammar that is done. Tomorrow we are going to deal with modals, okay? That is can, could, shall, should, will, would, okay? All these modals can't, all these modals we are going to deal with it tomorrow. Now I will prepare a PPT for it and I will forward it after the class. You may write it in your notes. That will be for tomorrow's class. Day after tomorrow, I feel we will go to detail, not detail, we'll do, day after tomorrow is Wednesday. So what I thought is we will do poetry, because that poem we can finish in one class. If I start non-detail, what's going to happen is you will get a break for another 3 days and then I'll come back again on Monday and we will tend to forget. So one slight change for this week, that is on Wednesday after grammar, if I don't finish tomorrow, then I'll continue the second part on Wednesday. In case I finish the grammar lesson tomorrow, then I will take the next poem in the detailed textbook on Wednesday. Okay, a slight change only for this time, because if I start, you may tend to forget, then we will not get that connection that is there. That is all that is there. Now, can you tell me who are the two characters in the thief's story? Quickly. Two characters in the thief's story. Who are the two characters in the thief's story, and you mention them properly? Quickly, can you tell me who are the two characters that are there? Okay, Anil and Hari Singh, very good. Who is the thief? 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 Hari Singh, very good. Where is Anil's house? All are MCQ questions. I sent you a set of MCQ questions, student. That is not to be written in your sample books, okay? Sample book, but that is for your practice. You can take a PDF and just stick it out. I mean, a print out and tick it off, okay? For your practice. I'll send you some more when we finish this lesson. But first I want you to go, we'll have a Zoom meeting and I'll let you know about things, but you can go to the website and check for your bifurcation that is there. Where was Anil's house? Where was Anil's house? Where did Anil take Hari Singh to after the wrestling match? They went somewhere, right? Where is that particular name? Where was Anil's house? Can you tell me? Quickly. Most of you have not joined the classes again. 30 of you are there. Where are the rest of you? 34 of you. Where was Anil's house? Yes, over the Jumna sweet shop. Correct, not near. Okay, you see that? It's on page number 9. You should write over, not near. Near what? Near your house? No. What is there in the textbook is important. Jumna, correct. You should write Jumna. Madhu has written Jumma. Jumna, okay. In his room near, over the Jumna sweet shop. That means above. Okay, over the Jumna sweet shop. Wonderful. How old were Hari Singh and Anil? See, Rakshita has written Jamna. What, man? You should write properly, otherwise you will lose your marks. Huh? Sujan has written Joanna. How old were Anil and Hari Singh? How old were Anil and Hari Singh? How old were they? My last question. Correct. 15. Come on, you have to write it in words, not in digits. Okay? Anil, Arshita, you're wrong. Anil was 25, Hari Singh was 15, correct. Correct. You can remember us. Correct. All right. Now we stopped, I believe, at page number 10. After all, he doesn't even pay me. Is that where we stopped? Can you tell me which paragraph we stopped? I'm not finding the marking. Can you tell me quickly? Possibly page number 10, right? Okay. Page number 10, we will begin from the third paragraph. Follow your copies, students. Thank you, Nitya. I had been working for Anil almost a month, and apart from cheating on the shopping, had done nothing in my line of work. I had every opportunity for doing so. Anil had given me a key to the door, and I could come and go as I pleased. He was the most trusting person I had ever met. Now, Anil had kept Hari Singh for work, saying that initially he lied, isn't it, that he knows to cook. But after that, he realized that Hari Singh doesn't know to cook at all. But what did Anil promise him? That he will teach him sentences, he'll teach him to read and write. Now, what did Anil assign him? Another work was to buy groceries. What was Hari Singh doing at that time? Hari Singh used to keep a rupee a day out of the groceries that, or the supplies, the daily supplies that he brought home. And Anil knew about it, yet did not tell anything. So he says, now I have been working for Anil for almost a month now. Okay, and from cheating on the shopping, that is from collecting a rupee a day, from collecting money that day, I have not done anything else. That is, earlier he was doing a lot of robbery, but now other than keeping money out of these daily supplies, he didn't do anything. My line of work, meaning that is his robbery. Okay, I had every opportunity for doing so. He could have done so many things. Anil got money out of the publisher, isn't it? He could have robbed that money, but he didn't do. Then Anil had also given him the key to the door. He could have done anything in the house. He could have kept everything in the house, but he chose not to do. Then he feels that Anil has trusted me a lot, and I should not let down his trust. Sometimes we feel, isn't it? Some people trust us a lot. Even a slightest mistake that we do, we feel, okay, it may hurt them. Maybe that person will think wrong about us. Sometimes even just a small lie, that maybe we went somewhere and we told we went somewhere else. Okay, some people trust us a lot, blindly trust, isn't it? Blindly trust. It can be anybody, your friends, your family, your teachers, your classmates, anybody. Some people blindly trust and feel that, oh, that person is like that. That person cannot do it at all. That person cannot think like that. Because the appearance of the person, the personality of the person for you has been like that. And when somebody has done anything else in another way, you feel a loss of trust. Or you sometimes don't want to hurt somebody or lose somebody's trust so easily. Now, and that is why it is so difficult to rob him. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, but it's difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he's being robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. Come on, I want you to underline. Underline that it's easy to rob a greedy man. They can ask you in the MCQs, who is easy to rob? A careless man, a greedy man, a happy man, a sad man. Okay, I give options, but they can give you like this and you don't get confused. So he says, this one task now of robbing someone has become very difficult for me. Who is that me there? Hari Singh. Hari Singh says, entire life I've been doing the same thing, but now I feel it very difficult because that person has put so much trust on me, and I feel it the most difficult job to do. He says you can rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, but it's difficult to rob a careless man because sometimes he doesn't even notice he's been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. He says it's easy to rob a greedy man because even if I rob, he'll be still greedy for so many other things. But it is difficult to rob a careless man. Why it is difficult to rob a careless man? Because so now in the wallet, if there are 5 notes of 500, okay, the careless man will not even know that there are 5 notes of 500. 3 of you have left the class. 5, the careless man won't even know that there are 5 notes of 500. Even if you pick 2 out of it, the man will still think, oh, I have 500 notes with me. So it is difficult to rob that man, and that there is a lot of pleasure in robbing that man. Yet it is difficult because that poor careless man will not even know that he is being robbed. But a greedy man will know, yet he is very greedy for things. So underline that and keep. Well, it's time I did some layer work. I told myself I'm out of practice. And if I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. Now, what does he say? Now I have to do some real work. This is too boring. Going getting supplies, cheating on that money and supplies, reading and writing. I have to do something that is very interesting for me. And in my line of work is a phrase. In my line of work, now my line of work is teaching. I'm a teacher. My line of work is, my profession is teaching. A doctor's profession, his line of work is medicine. Okay, so that is line of work. Now he feels his line of work has gone out of practice. That is, he is not robbed at all, isn't it, for a long time. Now he feels I have no practice at all, I have forgotten how to do it. Now even mathematics for that matter, even if you don't practice it, you tend to forget it. Experiments also for that matter, if you don't do it, you tend to forget it. He says, Anil has a lot of money, and if I don't, Anil has a lot of money, if I don't take out his money, he'll simply waste on his friends. And even he's not paying me any salary, so why I have to do things for him? Anybody can leave, it's your loss, okay? I will not repeat the lesson again. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped out of the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat up on the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Underline. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Students, after repeated instructions, you're still not following, that attendance is being tracked. Don't take it as a joke and don't think that we are simply joking over here. No, your attendance is being tracked. Please tell your friends, those who are in class today. I'm not telling anything to you all because you all are sincere, you all are there. But those who are not there and your friends who are not there, your classmate, you have to be united as a class. Go and inform them, it is there. Once you come back, I'll show you how many days you were absent, how many days you were present. Okay? Now, Anil was asleep. Anil was sleeping. And a beam of moonlight, maybe the window is clear and the moonlight is falling on the balcony there. Okay, the balcony there. And it is falling on the bed. It has fallen on the bed. Now, Hari Singh is sitting there on the floor and he's thinking about what kind of a situation or how can I rob the money that is there. He says, if I take the money now at this time, at this point of the night, I can catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Now he says, now Anil is sleeping here. He is slipping his hand right inside the blanket and he pulls the money. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. Now Anil was sleeping. Under his bed, the blanket there, was the money. Now Hari Singh puts his hand slowly so that he should not wake up Anil, isn't it? If he wakes up Anil, then Anil will know that he is robbing the money. Anil was sleeping peacefully. He had no marks on his face. That means maybe he was in deep sleep. He didn't know even what to do. No line on his face. That means he was not tensed about any situation. Peacefully sleeping. My hand slid under the mattress searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. Now, Hari Singh was successful in taking out the money without any sound, without any noise. he took out the money and he tried to put it inside. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. Now Anil has made some sound and he has turned towards Hari Singh. Maybe he was turning on the other side and not on the side which Anil was there. Now he made a sigh and he has turned towards Hari Singh. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. Startled meaning very surprised and confused as to what to do. So what he did, he was confused at that moment and he crawled. Okay, he was walking on 4 legs and he went out. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the string of my pajamas. I slowed down to the walk and counted the notes. 600 rupees in 50s, underline. I could live like an old rich Arab for a week or 2. Now what does he say? He has gone out of the room there and he began to run. He's on the road now, he began to run and he has put his notes on his waist. Now his pajamas here, everything, he has put his notes over there. And he's going down slowly and he's counting the notes. How many notes are there? 600 rupees in 50. 50 rupee note, 600. 600 rupees in 50s. That is 600 rupees in 50s meaning 50 rupee notes, but total of 600. Underline that. Then he says, out of this money that is there, I can live like an Arab person. Now they are, if you go to Arab countries, their lifestyle is different. Very much different from the way we live in India, isn't it? They have, even if you take a perfume, they have various scents that are there. The fragrance that comes out of the scent is only different. They are very good at all this, right? Oil and scents and so many other things. Arab countries are good for it. Then he says, I can live like an oil rich. Now, people are getting oil there, isn't it? Then they are selling it around. So he says, now out of the 600 rupees, I can live like a good Arab who has a lot of oil. For how many? For a week or 2. Underline, for a week or 2, I can stay like this. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. The train had still to pick up speed, and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages, but I hesitated for some reason I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. Now, Lucknow Express has already started. It's slowly moving. He has reached the station, but he has not gone to the ticket counter to buy a ticket because in his entire life he has never bought a ticket. He went to the platform. He can see the Lucknow Express moving. He could have got into one of the bogies there or the carriages there, but he felt, somewhere he felt, I should not go. He was hesitant. That is, we are feeling that I don't want to go. For a reason I can't explain, I lost the chance to get away. He says, I can't explain why I was very hesitant in order to go into one of those bogies or carriages, but in the process, the train went off. The train moved forward and I was still there in the platform. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend that night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help. And I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. Now what does he say? The train had already gone and he was standing alone in the deserted platform, meaning nobody is there around. Okay, deserted meaning alone there. Nothing is there around. Now night time, if you go into the railway station and stay, if you're catching the last train, okay, last train of that night there, you see nobody will be there. As these people in the office will be there, but on the platform, you see most of the time only very few people will be there. It's a deserted kind of an atmosphere. Now he didn't know where to spend that night. Okay, he had no friends because what he believed, friends give you more trouble than they help you. Why will they help you if he is a thief now? So he had no friends at all because he also believed that they are of more trouble to me than any help. Now he didn't want to stay in any of the nearest hotels also because people will be curious. He has a lot of money with him in hand. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. Now what he feels, the only man I knew there was Anil, the man that I robbed. That is the man that I robbed, so I only know him properly, and he slowly walked down to the bazaar that is going. Now, non-detailed textbook is a very easy, simple language that is there. Even if you read once, you will understand it. Yet, that is why I'm moving fast. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man, underlined, the greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face when he discovered the theft would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. This entire paragraph is important, underline it or mark it in the side. Now, here in his career as a thief, he had known to judge people's faces. He said, judge people's faces when they lose their things, when they lose something that they had or that they wanted. The greedy man showed fear. Okay, greedy man showed fear because he also has accumulated so many things, something has lost. The rich man showed anger. Okay, and the poor man showed acceptance. The poor man will tell, what, now that it's gone from my hand, what can I do? I cannot go and afford something else again, so let it go. But he felt that if he sees Anil's face, what can he discover in Anil's face? Only sadness. Why sadness? Because not because he has lost the money. He can write something and get more money. Not because he has lost the money, but because he has lost. Hari Singh has betrayed Anil's trust. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on the bench. That night was chilly, it was early November, and a little drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin and the cold wind blew the rain across my face. Now it was early November, please underline, and he was in the Maidan, that is the ground there, and he was sitting down on the bench and it started to drizzle first and then rain very heavily. He was wearing a shirt and a pajama. Now with the rain he got drenched and everything started to stick to his body, and there was very cold breeze that was blowing across his face. I went back to the bazaar and sat down to the shelter of the clock tower. Underlined, the clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Now he has gone near the clock tower and he sat there. The clock struck midnight. Now there is a rhyme. Do you remember? There is a rhyme. The clock struck. I can't remember it anyway. Now he felt for the notes, meaning what happened? Everything was wet with the rain. Whatever is there in his pocket was also wet. What was there in his pocket? Money was there. They were damp and damp from the rain. That damp meaning wet. Anil's money. In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema, but I now had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. Now he was ashamed of himself because he robbed a man who trusted him so much. He feels that Anil would have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema to watch a movie and come back, or maybe give me a little more so that I can go. But now he says, I have it all, I can do. But my only regret is I can't cook for him anymore. I can't go to the bazaar and bring things. I can't write to learn, or I write sentences to I can't learn to write sentences. Okay, I got confused. I got learn to write sentences. I can't go to the bazaar. I can't cook for Anil. This was the only regret that Hari Singh had. Yeah, ding dong bell. Thank you, Meghna. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences I knew could one day bring me more than few hundred rupees. It was a simple matter to steal and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and respected man was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. Now what does he feel? If I would have learned to read and write properly, instead of doing a lot of robbing, that is robbing people, if I had learned to read and write, I could have earned more money than this. At least some 100 money, then I could live my life peacefully. Now he says it's very simple to steal, but it's also sometimes very simple to get caught also. Sometimes we say some lies and we easily get caught, isn't it? Very easy to understand sometimes through your facial expression. Everybody, not only you, but everybody, all of us that are there. Now, he was a very clever, he was a respected, he was a nice man. And he felt now, Hari Singh feels now I should go back to Anil because he is the one who taught him to read and write, and I should go to him only if he'll tell me how to read and write, or if he'll tell me or teach me how to read and write. I hurried back to the room feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal someone than to return it undetected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. Now what happened? He has gone back to the room and very, very nervous because now he has already robbed it. Now he should keep the money back in the same place and Anil should not know about it. That is what he said there. See, it is easy to steal something and to keep it undetected. That means Anil should not know that I have stolen the money, but I have to keep it back there. Now he opened the door quietly and he went inside the doorway, and it was still moonlight, night time, maybe around 1 or 2 o'clock in the night. Then Anil was still sleeping. So he put his hand under the bed and slowly kept the money that is there. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you'll be paid regularly. So what happened now? Hari Singh, in order to escape what he had done the previous night, he woke up a little late. Waking up late, what did he see? Anil had already made tea for him and he had a 50-rupee note in his hand. And he tells Hari Singh, now that I have started earning, I'll pay you regular salary. My spirits rose, but when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today we'll start writing sentences, he said. My spirits rose, meaning he felt nervous at one side. Then he has to express his happiness also, isn't it? When Anil has told him that he will pay him regularly, Hari Singh has to express his happiness. Yet on one side he is very nervous. Why? Because the notes are still wet of the previous day's rain. Then Anil says, today we'll start writing sentences. Even though Anil came to know, he didn't even utter a single word. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. Now, what happened here? Anil knew that Hari Singh had robbed him because the notes were still wet, isn't it? It's obvious. Yesterday night it was raining, and the notes are wet. Now, nor his lips, that means he didn't utter anything, nor his eyes showed that Hari Singh has robbed anything or Hari Singh is guilty of his theft, but there was a smile that he gave, and Hari Singh, without any effort, gave that smile back, and both smiled at each other. So this is the end of the story, my dear students, the thief's story. Do you have anything to ask? Come on, do you have anything to ask? Can somebody at least later message me and tell me why most of you are not attending classes, or you personally tell me why you are not attending classes. For those who are not there in the class, you may convey the message. Non-detail is very easy. So 1 or 2 readings, if you concentrate and read once, you'll understand it. Excuse me. So possibly, I think for term 1, I have one more lesson in non-detail, which we'll deal, no problem. If you are cooperating, and if we can do, we can finish it soon, and then we can revise a lot. And today you have your mathematics test, unit test 1. I hope you have studied. Tomorrow is English. You have a lot of work. Don't feel it's a burden, okay? I know you have unit tests, you have to write sample questions, you have to listen to your class, you have to, after that, you have to sit and study. Don't feel it's a burden, but plan your day. Now start, even if you wake up by 7 o'clock, no problem. 9 o'clock, attend your classes. 9 to 10, revise what is done in the 9 o'clock class. Then you have a break from 10 to 11, right? 11 o'clock class. Now 11 to 12, if you have understood, now language classes, you will understand at one go. So take 5-10 minutes, read the lesson, whatever is done, or read that part, what is done, finish. Now once I finish the lesson, you read the whole lesson. Take 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, finish, done. After that, sit and write for another 45 minutes. Sit and write whatever you have to write, sample questions or anything. Then you have a class at 1 o'clock, 1:30. Have lunch and come back at 1:30 for your next class. Sometimes language classes, you have only 3 classes. That time is extra time you have. Afternoons, okay, if you can't study, no problem. Do a lot of writing work. Writing work you finish. Then again a class at 3:30. 1:30 is class you revise, 2:30 to 3:30. At least half an hour, revise. Take a break of 10 minutes and come back. 3:30 to 4:30, listen. Go back, have tea, have bath and come back. Sit for studying. The whole day what you did, sit and back and sit and think what the teachers did the whole day. What the teachers did the whole day. And how much you have studied. Then maybe 1 hour spent in writing sample questions. Okay. Now from today 6 to 7 o'clock, 6 to 6:30 or 6:40, you have 40 minutes test. Okay. Now your exam, listen here carefully, your exams will be scheduled at 6 p.m. But we'll give you 10 minutes prior, that's 5:50. If you begin at 5:40, you have 40 minutes time. That's the timer will be there. Your timer will run for 40 minutes whenever you begin. Now if you're beginning very late, it is scheduled till 6:40. So if you start at 6:30, you get only 10 minutes that are there. So we begin a 10 minutes early so that you can get prepared. I hope you have taken the general knowledge test. This is marked for evaluation. So all of you have to take. The moment you finish the test, we will be notified here. And there is no reduction in any syllabus. Okay, we will be notified here. So you have to keep things on time. Once you answer the test, take some break and come back and read your textbooks. No reduction in syllabus, but your syllabus is divided as term 1 and term 2. The entire portion is there. All that we'll discuss through Zoom meeting. You go to the website and do your own reading first. As to you're old enough, you can understand very simple English the board uses. Anybody can use it. MCQ questions for what, Milan? Today's test, yeah, MCQ questions. If you're asking today's unit test, yes. Now unit tests will continue non-stop. That means even if you miss one test, you're marked absent. cbse.nic.in. It is not CBSC students, it is CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education. You are studying in that board, you should know properly. Some of you write, what is this? This is wrong. We are studying in CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education. cbse.nic.in. In this, you go to this academic website. Academics. You first go and see that website. You're old enough, right? You can understand. Go and search things that are there. Okay. Chapters not there in term 1 and term 2 will be tested for PT. You first read the document properly. We will make an analysis of the document and inform you a little later. It's just out. Just out means I also need time to read it. Give me some time. I have to read all subjects. I'll read all subjects and get back. Until then, you do your reading and whatever lessons are done till now, you start reading them. Nothing is a loss. So you give me time to read all 5 subjects, all 6 subjects that are there. I will read it and then understand first. Even before I tell something, and it should not be wrong. I should tell you things that are right, right? So you give me some time. I'll read it later in the afternoon. Okay. I'll tell you a quick story and then we'll wind up. I have a next class next hour as well. Now there was a farmer. You must have known this story. Yet I want to tell you. There was a farmer who had 4 sons. Now his sons were not talking to each other. His sons were in such a way that they didn't like to stay together. So what did the father do one day? The father put a bundle of sticks, okay? Put a bundle of sticks and he tied all of them. He made 4 bundles like that and he tied all of them. And then he called his sons and he told, come on, break this bundle that is there. Break the bundle. All the 4 sons were trying very hard with their leg and with everything they tried, but they could not break it. So the father said, you remove that knot that is there and take 1 stick and break it. You try to break 1 stick that is there. Okay. Now they were easily able to break 1 stick. So the father said, see, when you are standing alone, you become weak. When you are standing together, you become strong. What happened? The bundle of sticks didn't break. The bundle of sticks didn't break, right? When they were put together, it didn't break. But when it's taken alone, it broke. So the father said, when you stand alone, you become weak sometimes. Not that I should not stand for myself. I'm not telling you that. You can be strong on yourself. But sometimes when things have to be done in groups or things have to be done together, that means everybody's cooperation and everybody's unity is needed. So he told the sons as well, now that you are brothers together, see, you are standing alone in your own positions and feeling that I am the boss. But it should not happen like that. You all are individually becoming very, very weak. Individually becoming very weak. But all you 4 brothers, if you are together, what will happen? As a family, we become very strong. So what does he say? Togetherness is very important. The father says, the moral can be taken like this, that togetherness is very important in things. I can say I can do it alone, but there is a system that runs. There are so many things happening around us. One is connected to the other. Even when you are in the class, you have to show a lot of unity. Your class has a lot of unity, no problem. You have to cooperate with each other. All the 64 of you have to work hand in hand. Okay? You need everybody. You need the teachers, you need your students, you need your seniors, you need your juniors, everybody. Everybody is a part of the process. We need everybody there. No, ANVITHA. Send it through your parents, students, please. You're not allowed to come to school now. We didn't get any instructions. August 2nd to 4th, I hope you heard the Zoom meeting. I don't want to talk anything about the Zoom meeting in the class now. Okay. Yeah, unity is strength, right. Fine then, students. I'll see you tomorrow with grammar, that is modals, and a slight change that I told you on Wednesday. In case we finish modals. If not, we'll continue part 2. If we do, we'll do poetry. Fine. Okay then, students. It's nice seeing you today. Nice listening and nice, what is that? Interacting with you after a very long time. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Yes, we will be strong when we are together, but when we are weak, we will be divided. When we divided, we feel weak, right? Okay. See, tell your friends what's being told in class regarding attendance and so many other things. I've been repeatedly telling. I'm tired of the same instruction, telling you the same instruction and again. Okay, thank you, students. Read the lesson and plan your days properly and study. I told you within a fraction of a second we'll reach November and we'll never know, and regret cannot happen. We should feel happy to take the exam. We should feel joyful to attempt the exam, and we should feel that we are prepared. Okay, I'm saying we because both of us are in the process. You are writing the exam, that means I am also writing the exam. Okay? My task of only preparing you doesn't stop. Till the end, till you come out of the exam hall, my task remains. Okay. Nice. Happy with your class, students. Thank you.